Hello,
So,
guys. Welcome back, finally, to Off the Script podcast. How you doing, Joe?
I'm good, man. I'm fucking good.
Yeah,
How are you?
yeah, I'm not bad, thank you. I'm not bad. Yeah, for all the listeners out there may be a few people returning here who've just gone, "Where the have you guys been for the
Yeah,
past year?"
I know.
Was it? When was our last?
It's about a year ago now, but
Was it like
consistent
May this
uploads, a
year?
year and a half. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Um,
So, it went down the pan November of 2021.
yeah, man. It's been an interesting past year and a bit for both myself and Joe. I'll ask you first, Joe. Where have you been? What have you been
Um,
last year?
Christ.
Obviously, I
So,
know, but
yeah. For me, what's been happening? So, I'll just come up to the most recent stuff about what's going on. So, final year of uni, strength and conditioning graduate. Um, yeah, launching my business, officially launching my business shortly.
excellent.
Um, which will be fantastic. Um, Working with sports teams now. I've done a little bit of work with sports teams at a grassroots professional level. Um, so yeah, I've been focusing on that. Obviously, building rapport within the industry, working closer with people from varying parts of the industry as well, through people like Simon and Zach Khan and whatnot. Obviously, started the podcast with them as well. So I'm now a co-host or main host on the Phantom podcast. If anybody's interested in that, they can check it out
Yeah.
on Simon Fan's Instagram page. What else? I am now, yeah, yeah. That's pretty much a summary of it. So launching the business, launching the coaching business, um, and yeah, mate, just pushing on for certain goals in life. Essentially, being self-sustainable and looking to go into eventual self-employment.
Excellent. Yeah, no, I'm definitely somewhat in the same boat in some senses. Yeah, it's been definitely a year of accomplishing or finishing off life stuff in
Yeah,
some ways. So obviously I competed last year, for anyone who knows me or follows me. It was my second time on stage. We are traditionally a bodybuilding podcast, of course, so it was going to come around Sunday that the co-host was going to be back on like a stage at some point. So I did novice juniors last year. You were there for a lot of it. Had varying placings. I think on the whole, now that obviously I'm like 4 months removed from the stage, I'm happy with how the season went on the whole in terms of the improvements I made. I was like 74 kilos on stage my first season.
yeah.
And then this time I was getting on stage at more like 82 to 84 kilo, which
Yeah.
is fucking like, that's a big, especially for, someone my age.
And arguably could have been bigger and fuller and harder.
Arguably, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think there were, especially the first British finals I did, BNBF British finals. That was arguably the most unfortunate one. Because I just, for some reason, my body ran away from me and I went just stone cold flat on stage. Went into like the pre-judging, all lined up. Bear in mind, all of these people are finalists. They've all qualified to be there. So they're all good caliber athletes. Get called out for the first call out. After about a minute of posing in the first call out, I get shuffled back out of the first call out.
You got rammed.
It was, yeah, sort of. Yeah, it felt that way. But it was actually deserved in that I was just flattening out at like, just suddenly my body just started to flat.
Yeah.
That was it. And as soon as I got off stage, I had a text from AJ and he was like, have you eaten all your meals? And I was like, yeah, mate. He was like, all right, go to Tesco, get bagels, get jam, get whatever, just fucking eat. And then, lo and behold, I came back for a night show and I looked a million times better, but at that point it's too late. So, it was a learning curve. I will say, I'd argue, the actual British finals, or both my UK DFBA shows were, I think, potentially less stressful and I had a very good experience at both. I enjoyed them both very much. The caliber of athletes were there. They were my best looks as well as a result of that, I believe. And yeah, no, I was super happy with how it turned out. I think it was me sort of coming back with a bit of redemption on my part. I mean, I basically went from sixth like Midlands regionals, so sixth at regionals to sixth nationally.
Yeah,
classes respectively, which is nothing to shake a stick at.
top two Midlands as well. So
yeah, exactly. Like, I've got some silverware, I've got some trophies now,
and all that experience you can take away for yourself, for clients in the future.
Absolutely.
All the important stuff. You've managed to take the best of what was a fun, interesting, slightly maybe underwhelming season.
Potentially, yeah, potentially.
But took the best from it and grown from it, essentially, because you're looking rather large again.
Yeah, no, mate. I'm so for relevance at the minute. Last pictures I uploaded were last week. I'm still around that weight. So I'm around 96, 97 kilo now. I'm 30 pounds up from stage, which, obviously excluding the first week, I'm 22 pounds up in 15 weeks. So it's a rate of about 1.23 pounds or something like that. So pretty good rate of weight on. Not quite at a position yet where I'm like, fuck, I should pull back or anything. I feel fine. Yeah. My girlfriend's not pissed off at me or anything for like huffing and puffing and snoring and shit. So we're doing all right. But yeah, no, I'm definitely creeping up to 100. Once I get there, I'll probably have a little bit of time chilling there, potentially even pulling back depending how I feel. And yeah, the goal next is 2025. And 2025, I will be in heavyweights. That is my class. I was already 1 kilo into the heavyweight class this time. So obviously it just makes sense to move up.
Yeah.
And aside from that, at the same time, obviously working, doing more sort of S&C related stuff and also online coaching at the same time. And at post prep, obviously, once that was wrapped up, I was in a position where I was finally able to move into my first property. So purchased my first place, moved into that. For anyone who knows, it's Kelham Island, Sheffield, which is for quite a nice area, Sheffield. There's a couple of other people who train at Ultraflex and places like that who actually live around there as well, because it's just a nice area in Sheffield. So yeah, a lot of stuff ticked off last year. Quite happy. And then this year I've just been fucking getting to grips, basically, after a hectic year last year. And yeah, that's obviously why, we're here now. We've got a lot of stuff coming to a close that had us super, super busy, I think. And now we're moving on to other things at the same time.
Yeah, I've got, if everything goes to plan, because it fucking will, because I'll work for it, it's going to be the biggest year of my life.
Yeah.
I'm dieting down. What for yet? We'll assess in another 4 weeks from now. Will it be competition? Not too sure. Will it be photo shoot prep? Not sure. Will it be just look good for the summer? Not sure. Assessing where my physique is. If it's at a point where I believe I can be competitive, because I'm not just competing for the sake of it, it's not the way my mentality works. However, the approach to the diet will still be the same either way. Because obviously I'm now at a point where I've got to lead from the front.
Yeah.
It's time to put the knowledge that I have and have given to my clients into my own.
100%. It's the idea of putting your money where your mouth is, and you being a literal body of work instead of coaching people.
I'm at a point now where I'm as healthy as I can be given the circumstances.
Nice.
Mentally, I believe I'm in a good place. Sometimes, obviously, anxiety and lack of self-belief is always there. Well, it is for me anyway, which is something I presume, and something we will discuss in a different episode as we go, that our mental approach to bodybuilding and to life in general.
I've got someone I actually want to bring on for that conversation.
So we welcome it, man. If it's going to give people, something to think about, then awesome. Additionally, the launching of my business is a massive thing. The completion of my degree will be another thing, and moving out into the big wide world.
Fuck yeah, man!
As well.
Yeah. Look, do you know what? It's exciting to see, like, looking back retrospective for people who've been around since day dot, if you're still here, or any other returning people who've watched us, looking from where this sort of podcast originally was and where we were at when we started that, and the sort of documentation of our life over the past however many years now. I was in my fucking uni room into second year of university. You were still obviously not even at university at that time. You were
I was a university dropout at that point.
Yeah, you were a uni dropout at that point, and here you are, final year.
Did my marketing for a bit. So I did my business marketing international accreditation.
Yeah,
decided to knock that on the head. It wasn't my thing. I was already monetizing creative media. Decided it wasn't something I wanted to pursue academically. Took a year out. Obviously, the old world shut down for a little bit.
Yeah,
and decided to pursue other things. Pursue my passion of enhancing my knowledge on performance. Whether the degree's done that for me or not, I'm still in two minds, but it has given me time to develop myself as a person and kind of know where I want to go with this. And decided to go all in with my passion because it's what I can provide to people that really gets me stiffy in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I 100% agree. It is quite cool. It is quite cool to see how far we've sort of moved, and like, especially after this past year, I think life, honestly, in the past year, so I think a lot of people who are prepping, you probably feel like this as well, that while you're prepping, when you're in that sort of tunnel vision, Joe, I imagine to an extent you feel that way while dieting as well, right? Where you're in the tunnel vision, you're working, and it's constant progression, either in the way you look or in just everyday life sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't necessarily get to look back for a little while. And I'm definitely at that point now where I'm being a little bit more retrospective in terms of where I'm at in relation to things and being sort of thankful where we're at. And also it made me, I had it on a few occasions. I want to mention this because I'm sure the people who know who they are, they know who they are. There's a few different people who I didn't realize actually watched us, who I follow and respect, who on like through Instagram, things like that, for what they do and their work ethic. And I realized that they were not only just watching us like casually, but they were watching everything. And shit like that, and they were up to date with us, and they they might have been listening to us doing morning cardio and things like that. And I think I definitely at one point, especially last year, or to the year towards when we sort of like wrapped up before starting back up, I was sort of looking like and feeling like a bit disillusioned. I think I didn't necessarily have the perspective of holy shit, there are actually people watching us. And it was to an extent, it was for ourselves at one point, especially through lockdown, where it's like, fuck, we're just having a conversation with people online, like just on a podcast and a platform, right? And forgetting that there was someone else in the room at all times, as it were.
I think some of the podcasts we did early days, was still some of the most memorable conversations I've had with people in general in life.
100%.
Because we started this, alongside a lot of other people when they sort of started their own business or podcast or whatever, when we had excessive time where we wanted to just shoot the shit, but also, maybe provide something good for people.
100%.
And to see, some of the people we had on early and to see where they're at now.
Crazy, isn't it?
Awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. And, we've gone through our own journeys as well.
Yeah.
And it's just been fantastic to see progression of people that we had on previously. Shout out Christian Chapman.
Yeah, Chapman.
And get to see his lovely, pretty face every fucking day of the week now.
Do you know what? It's crazy to think about that. Like, I actually remember that when I met him for the first time in person, because we'd had him on the podcast on multiple occasions, and then he was in Ultraflex.
Yeah.
And by chance. And I didn't even notice him at first, but I just remember him seeing me from across the gym and then just coming up to me and then just grabbing me like fucking like just fist bumps, all that sort of shit. And I was like, oh, holy fuck. I've actually finally met someone from the podcast. And that's that was cool. That was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Also, Christian, prior to me actually seeing you in person for the first time, I thought you were shorter. I'm not gonna lie, I thought you were shorter, and then I met you. I was like, "Fuck, this guy's actually tall."
He's 243 now or something.
Yeah, fucking big guy.
Big lump, man.
Yeah, no, he is a
but,
big.
Yeah, man, it's been great, and it's going to be awesome going forward with what we can offer and what we can do and discuss and whatnot. You know, we've both got plans for this and how it's gonna, how it's going to develop and whatnot, and we're open to interest as well from people. You know, what they want to see, what we can offer them, what they think we can talk about and whatnot.
So let's get down to some brass tacks, as it were, as well. So scheduling, guys. So going forward, every single Monday there will be an upload, and it will be how long are we saying? 45 minutes to an hour?
45 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes.
Okay.
That's the way we want to do it. Just because, why not?
Yeah.
Me and Jermaine can talk for hours and hours and hours. We've fucking known each other now for 5 years. So we want to bring you along for 45 minutes of your day, once a week minimum.
While you
just come out, while you're on the Stairmaster, while you're busting your ass, while you're in the bath, while you're shaving your sack, while you're doing whatever you want.
While you're using your Manscaped collection. We're not sponsored.
Yes, we're not sponsored. However, maybe one day.
They're offering. One day I would like a lawnmower or whatever the fuck.
Yes. The sack mower.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, no, that'll be our structure, and we will likely have like a weekly topic. Occasionally we'll have guests on, although guests are not the focus necessarily. That's something me and Joe talked about in terms of our structure previously was a case of us having guests on very, very frequently, most of the time, which is great and all, until, it becomes impossible to organize scheduling. And that's when the podcast schedule just falls apart. And
I think as well, me and you have a lot more to offer ourselves now.
That's true.
When we first started this podcast, me and Jermaine, I'll talk for Jermaine here as well. We were younger, more inexperienced people who'd less experience of life, less experience of the industry, less experience and less knowledge on what we're talking about. So
we were fucking fanboys, bro. That's
and
I'd competed once on a natty stage and didn't even place, and we were fucking fanboys. Who were just lucky enough to have some fantastic guests on as well.
Yeah, we got to pick the brains of some seriously successful and influential people in the industry.
Yeah.
And now, as we've gone through education, as we've got more experience ourselves, we can give a hell of a lot more back to people who either were in our position a couple of years ago, or people who just wanted something to listen to, So hopefully we don't bore you to death.
Yeah, no, that's the plan. That's the plan. And I think it'll be good. I'd like to also at some point potentially we've talked about this already, but I thought I'd mention it. I'd like to do an in-person one as well at some point. We'll figure out the setup as we go along. I need to figure out what the gear is going to be like for that. What we could have. Yeah, in terms of like mics, cams, how that's going to work.
Not the old.
No, not the old Bolivian marching powder. No, we'll be keeping it to the mics and the cameras, but we need to figure out logistics of that. But I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of having my own place now is that I can set that up. That's a possibility as well. In my living room, all nice and neat.
In your bedroom.
In the bedroom. Only Patreon support.
Yeah. It's funny you should say that. Actually, I will be setting up a Patreon eventually.
I will likewise do it. It's going to be definitely a thing further down the line, but there's potential folks for this podcast in some way, shape or form to try and get you guys more involved, and also potentially give back to you guys to sort of fund the podcast in a way. Create a Patreon or something of the sort. If you feel like supporting, give as little as you want, essentially.
Gives the option, mate, of expanding their experience as well as ours.
Exactly. Getting you a mic, getting you a nice mic, getting you a camera as well. That'd be good.
But no, man, it's going to be a good fucking journey. We're going to be back to consistency, and
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great experience.
Up until 2025 when I compete.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. I'll be doing next time. I'll be doing it in prep, even if I'm just a corpse in a chair.
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
likely. But we'll make it.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've probably seen my face get thinner and thinner as we go each week. Unless you're on the audio platform, you'll probably hear me getting.
Remember this jawline, because it'll be gone. He'll have more of a jawline. Mine will just fucking. I'll be like. Was that fucking Pan's Labyrinth? I knew exactly what that was. Oh, that's so stupid. Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
We're back.
We're back, folks. Thank you for the people who are returning, listeners and viewers. Love you all. Keep supporting. Feel free to tag us and stuff as well if you are watching or listening, wherever you are, whenever you are, however you are, past, present, or future. Feel free to tag us and let us know where you are while watching and listening.
You think it's shit? Just tell us, okay?
Just tell us. Just tell us. Let us know. Let us know who you are out there. I'm always intrigued to see the people who are listening, what they're getting up to and where they're at. Okay, cool. Are we going to wrap it up there, Joe?
Wrap it up, my man, like Christmas time.
Okay, so thank you guys for listening and watching the Off the Script podcast. We will be back next Monday for new regularly scheduled viewing. And we'll catch you guys in a bit.
Ta-ta.